Hi, I'm Tori. Welcome in or welcome back. Today we're doing Furina's story quest. I'm very, very excited. We previously did the Archon quest like 2 streams ago, and it was awesome. It was filled with drama. It was very exciting. Act 5 of the Archon quest, that is. What I'm hoping to get out of this quest is I just want to really get to know Furina. I know a lot of the times character story quests in Genshin can sometimes really like deviate off of the character that it's supposed to be about, and then you don't really get as much insight into them as you would have liked. But I'm really wanting to see Furina without this mask on now that she took it off. So that's personally what I want to see from this very badly. I'm hoping we get it. And here we are on our way to meet Furina. Well, the real Furina, we'll say.
Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps?
Sometimes Paimon gets on my nerves a little bit. Already, I'm 2 seconds in and I'm big mad.
Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
Oh, she gets it. Never mind, they're close like that.
It's always a pleasure to see our 2 most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
I was supposed to say, Paimon and the Traveler have done a lot more for a lot less, so...
A temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues, and is currently unable to perform the role. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial
not much of a singer, I suppose.
So unfortunately, they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically, they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to create all sorts of new problems.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas?
I think it's time to warm up the vocal cords.
When we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
Paimon the musical? Christ,
If
imagine
you're interested
that.
in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Oh, wow.
Paimon approves, let's...
Oops, sorry, girl. Cut her off. Well, actually, not that sorry.
Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
Pause.
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
I wonder what the Traveler is most famous for in Fontaine. I wonder if they're the most famous for defending Linny, going to jail, or I guess prosecuting Furina. Probably prosecuting Furina, but I like to think that the Traveler is the most famous for going to jail for, according to the public, or at least as far as the public knows, you know, spoiling a mystery novel.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame. That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
Womp.
All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband. I'm getting One Direction flashbacks. Oh, Lord.
I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah. This is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Supposed to
One
be.
last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things
Okay,
to
but
just
I was.
fizzle out.
I'm always
And
thinking about
after
One
all the
Direction,
time and
Darcy.
effort we've invested into it.
Always.
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact.
I was a
She's been
Dial
dealing with chronic illness
Girl too!
ever since childhood, and unfortunately, it flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform. The
Oof.
show just won't be the same without her.
Chronic
But for
illnesses
everyone else's
suck.
sake, I still
I
hope
was
we
having
can
a
find
flare up
way
this
to hold
past
the
week from my
performance on
rheumatoid
schedule.
arthritis. I couldn't get out of bed. I literally had to take 2 days off work.
Clearer picture now.
I was incapacitated. It was so rough.
What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
Girl, actually I'm rich.
Please,
I've been
there's
AR60
no
for a
need to
minute.
go
I could fund this whole
Feel right
country.
asking such a huge favor, and I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
Furina? Is that what they're thinking of? She basically just got like split into like hello? I don't know about all that.
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now.
That's crazy. She shouldn't be busy. Nothing going on now that she's not the Archon anymore. Like, damn.
Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous. Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
That'd be good publicity for the show, having the ex-Archon.
I don't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
You're not wrong
Her
there.
voice.
She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner. She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine.
Where
including
is she?
myself.
Do we even know where
I
she
just
is?
think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
Like, she's just on her own, right? I didn't know if Lit said she'll be like, all right, but...
Well, yes, but... Huh. Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe.
Oh my god, the Fontaine music is so dramatic. I always forget. Are you listening to this?
Of course. It all depends on
It reminds me
whether
of,
she's interested. She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
Oh, shoot.
No point in stressing
Anastasia, the movie.
out. No, if we ask.
And, what's the song called?
Besides, things are different now. There's no reason
Once
for her
Upon
to
a
be all
December.
right
There's like a
anymore.
waltzy kind of like very dramatic melody to that. And it reminds me of this. Just a little bit. A little similar,
Thank
if you
you
guys
for
know what I'm
your
talking about.
I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news. Good luck.
Wait, where does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
As it happens, I have her current address here.
Okay, Stalker.
I can provide it to you.
It's actually Nahida. No, I'm kidding. Do you remember that? Like when we were talking to Catherine, we were just never sure if it was Nahida or not. That was so silly.
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be.
It's
at the
such a
ready
good
in case my
song.
assistance is needed. It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in a jiffy.
In a jiffy. And a song someone sings once upon a December. Where the hell is that? The Glass Castle? No, I have not. What's it about?
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here?
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Not that there's anything wrong with this place. It's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Mermonia.
I
You
mean,
know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't an earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
ah,
Okay, when did Poppy Got a Thin Air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
she just got caught talking shit. And you know what? Put her in her place. Because that was kind of rude, Paimon.
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more
Ooh,
bags.
macaroni. Wait, that's so silly that like she just is making macaroni
I
now.
used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
That's like funny to me, macaroni.
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Okay, she kind of ate because sometimes when you have work, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just be making like the most random things and just eating it. Like, just for convenience's sake. So I'm not gonna lie, I understand this. Like,
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
oh my god! Paimon is so rude. For like a living leech, she needs to watch how she speaks to other she's a leech. No work. All she does is just mooch off of me and my salary and my fame and my hard work. All she does is squeal in my ear, and she's talking about, you need to cope. That's crazy. Anyways.
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity.
That's what I'm saying, girl. Don't let her talk to you like that. Why is she looking at... Looks like she's looking at Lumine if you look at the angle. It's going this way. Like, I didn't say it. Paimon did.
It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house.
Me.
So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first
Ogle.
be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time.
Tell her.
So if you're just here
She
to
said,
clown
"Get out."
around, then please be on your way. Shoot.
Sorry, we're sorry. Please don't be mad.
I don't think that was Paimon showing concern. I think she's being a snotty little rat. But yeah, that's fine. Let's just...
Yeah, exactly what the traveler said. Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec. You weren't exactly holding back either.
I didn't say anything. Lumine doesn't even talk. Like, what do you...
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
If I was 500 years old,
Nothing that serious.
my sleep debt would be
It's just
crazy.
very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
Because I still think, like, my sleep debt is worse than the national student loan debt. And I don't think I'll ever pay it off. And I'm only, like, 24. So imagine if I was 500. Or do they need to sleep? Huh. Interesting.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about
I
your
thought sleep debt
attitude
wasn't real,
just
but
now.
apparently it is.
So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific?
Well, we specifically need you, girlfriend. Come on.
I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourself.
Oh, and she could use the check, too. This might work out.
After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts.
Sorry, my nose is
A mere
itchy.
musical is well within my capabilities.
I guess we're gonna find out how she gets some Hydrovision modded.
Given the
Who knows?
present circumstances, I'm afraid I
Oh,
must
hiccup.
regretfully decline your casting request.
Aw.
It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a
Thanks for the
decision
work, Aspen.
to
Hope you enjoy the
retire
quest.
From the stage.
Retire.
Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely.
Ooh.
I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
That's good.
this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross.
Okay, good for her, girl.
Exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place. So I'm not going to perform, and
that's very good for her.
Okay.
Very
guess there's
smart.
no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe?
She did kind of eat that up.
Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me. Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help. Look, I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah, I feel like a dick.
I'm sorry, I drew
Like,
a line in the sand
I don't want to
without
push
thinking about
her.
every possible grain on the other side.
Ooh.
Well,
All right. Damn.
is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
See, I can certainly care more about Furina and her own self than this random guy and his random group of theater kids. Like that, we don't even know them like that. And we were inside of Furina's psyche. We saw how damaged she is. Like, and we're like, "Ugh, but these theater kids need us. Girl, no, they do not.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would.
Tell them.
Sorry.
No, be harsher.
I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
Was the traveler not just herself yelling at someone in Inazuma because they asked her to mail a letter and she was very upset by that? And yet here we are. Can you play in this play? Like, I think we should know about not wanting to do requests. You know?
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed. Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
I'm doing well, and the story quest is good so far. I'm excited. I'm glad Furina's being firm in her stance. I hope she doesn't backpedal just for the sake of the plot of the story, which I think is gonna happen. But it's okay.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
I have to say, Fontaine Lumine annoys me a little. I normally I'm so team Lumine, but she's been annoying. Like the thing with Linny, you guys know I was not happy about that. Her being like, you're part of the Fatui. Like, yeah, girl, so is Child. You know, the person whose vision you're holding on to in goodwill. Annoying. I know Furina was never going to tell us the truth in the first place, but I felt really bad about us not letting her say it. Like, at least not finishing her sentence, and all of a sudden it was bam, that intervention, you know, the trial. That made me feel bad. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like that. And then now this. That annoys me because she should know what it's like to not want to have to do people's stupid requests. Damn. Anyways,
That's
continuing.
Besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent?
Ooh,
When did I tell you I
drama.
wanted to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness.
Oh, excuse me, I'm
even when
sorry.
It's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
The girls are fighting.
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now?
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Great.
We didn't know from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Yippee!
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
See, now we're making her look like...
Joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day.
Tough
I
it
share
out.
everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show.
My throat hurts. I'm gonna ask my
So
brother to make me
the
a
last
tea.
thing I want is to be left out.
I love tea.
Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
What do you mean, wait a second?
Sure.
Uh-oh. What?
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
I love her. She's so ridiculous.
All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me.
I think Paimon dragged you enough, so yeah, there's no need anymore.
Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
Stalking.
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things.
As you should.
And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation.
Oh, excuse me.
Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Wish she would.
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor.
Oh
for
yeah, why are they
instance.
disbanding? That's a good question.
Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our
Uh-oh.
troupe.
Was she in that
She
town that
kept
went
us
under?
going.
Fishtown? What's
Her
it called?
name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in this serial disappearances case.
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice.
What?
But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray.
Why doesn't Furina just
None
be
of
their
us know
director?
anything about script writing.
That's
let
not a
alone how to
role.
handle the business
It's a
side of
job.
things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart. It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
That is really really unfortunate.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
That's sweet.
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale,
Okay.
I can no longer stand by and
See, at least she'll help out. Maybe she's not gonna play a position.
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, I'm no
She'll
longer
be a
working for
director!
replacement anyway.
Yay!
I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Love her.
Most definitely. We'll
When
take
a
any
giving
guidance that you can
queen.
give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director.
Wow.
Something I've begun to realize.
She's
since
doing
my
it pro bono,
departure from the
too.
Opera Epicles
No one does it like
is
her,
that
y'all.
There's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take,
She's
for
so
example,
wise.
how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh?
Oh my god, Paimon, you're so rude!
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Not today, it's
Would you
not.
be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
So I'll do it for you, baby
Thank you
girl.
all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
I've heard that line before.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The
Woo!
Little Ocean in the role of artistic consultant.
The little Oceanid? That's rude. Oh, I guess they're all technically Oceanids. Right, I forgot.
These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
Wow, look at us. We're Fontaine renowned lawyers and ex-cons. No one does it like us.
That was the trial of the century.
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying the little Oceanid?
Wait, they don't know that they're Oceanids? None of them? I thought they... Oh, no, only the Spina people did. And the, I guess whoever was at the trial.
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
That's a hard task considering it's incomplete.
Finished, then...
Yeah, I was about to say, are we writing?
Yeah. We've been
Pick up the pen, y'all. Writers write their raps. Writers write their raps? I said write.
Let me give you a quick
Writers
summary
write
of what
their
the story's all about.
Rappers write their raps. I was calling Nicki Minaj, but I did it terribly. I'm so sorry.
The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family.
That sounds very much like the that little prophecy, that pesky prophecy of ours.
She longed to live just like any other human, and sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect. But one
Until the
day,
Fire Nation
her
attacked.
true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
Furina must... I would be peeing if I was Furina right now. Like, actually, I'd be on the floor. Kyle, I loved the Archon quest. It was so good. I hope you liked it too.
So far, so good. A classic tale.
Oh, so she's
What
like, yeah, I've
happened
lived
after
through that. Were you able to get Furina? I did not pull for Furina's weapon. I'm not sure if I'm going to, if I'm being honest. Because, like, Baiju's weapon is, ugh. Like, I don't have Baiju. And it's not even, like, a good weapon. So, like, I don't know, y'all. Probably not,
That's one of
though.
the issues we've been trying to deal with.
Maybe. We'll see.
Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script.
Oh, I don't have Jade Cutter, but Jade Cutter is good on her, I've heard. Hey, Chan, how are you?
We need a proper ending so we can bring.
Can we get a
musical
shout
to
out
the
for Chan,
stage.
please?
But people have different opinions on
Wait, the
which
hiccups.
direction to take it in.
We still
Sorry.
haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Trauma dumping.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from 2 of our main actors.
I feel like a lot of art is just sharing your emotions, so if it just happens to be a negative one, that's fine. There's a lot of media based off of sad
The
things.
first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's
Thank you.
passed, and we still haven't heard from him.
Ah, can you hold it? Ow, ow, ow. Sorry. Put it there. Ow. Thank you.
The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist.
The tea
He
burned
took
my
the director's
hands.
death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since.
Damn, went rogue.
He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
Our director was
Ooh.
constantly singing your praises.
Fangirls.
All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way.
I'm glad to hear you're
I
doing well. I'm
suspect
doing
the
well
reason
too.
They're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues.
I'm enjoying this class, that's for sure.
But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending.
I was about to say the dumbest thing. I was about to say, wow, she's such a good leader. Yeah, because she's been like the president for the past 500 years or so. Like, I don't know why. I was like, oh, wow, she's so good at commanding people. Like, duh.
He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
Damn.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But
Ow.
I guess it's the opposite. A friend
I
in
got
need
green
and
tea
all
with
that.
lemon because my throat's been bothering me
Maybe
today.
I could use some company.
So hoping this helps.
Poisson.
Uh-oh. I said, this is a rough place for her. Is something wrong? Isn't that where we cornered her?
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the
This
show.
isn't too hot. I want to
So,
have some.
allons-y. To Poisson.
Alonzi? What does that mean?
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
On the bottom floor? That's bold. That's risky. I wouldn't be able to do that personally.
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
All right. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Oof.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
Why doesn't he say, like, are you sure you don't want to just come outside and say hi?
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show.
I would love to
Even
try and
once
write a
he's
story. That
done,
must be
it
so
isn't
hard.
final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a mistaken
Navia, she,
identity, but
girl, they
sure
love
enough,
Navia. They put
here
her
you
in
are.
every single quest. Good for her.
And
Good for
Furina,
her.
Too.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free
It's
to
too
take
hot.
a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
That was quick. Damn.
It's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now?
Aw.
Any better?
She probably feels so
Things are on
bad.
the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank
Oh, wow.
you for your words of
That's actually
comfort.
good advice.
You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Well,
To
I'm.
avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully
That would
it
hurt my
means
feelings.
You won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Yes, ma'am.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
So only we know what really happened. Like, the people don't know that, like, she wasn't the real Hydro Archon. And then, like, what did they think? Oh, right, that's why they were just saying the prophecy was wrong. They didn't realize that it was, like, technically changed. Wow. That would, and then now having everyone hate me, even though they don't even know what happened. She's a better person than I am. I'd be so, like... I'd be so mad. I'm not even gonna lie. Isn't that always how it goes? We just know all the world's secrets. Oh, NPC number 1 is mad.
I'm so grateful that Miss Nafia was so understanding. To be perfectly
hot.
honest,
I want to drink
I
it, but
didn't
it's
know
too
if I
hot.
was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of
Side
course,
eye
I
is
completely
crazy on this
understand
one.
and accept. Yeah, I can tell people are watching me.
There's about to be a mob again, part 2.
I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially
Terrified
when
of
they had
who?
suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Who is she terrified of? That's crazy. I'm sorry, it's like so serious. And anyways, continuing.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look, there seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're gonna rally.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there. I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
Mm-mm. I took 2 days off last week. I'm not taking off a day this week. I gotta save my vacation time.
Different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet.
Aww.
I don't know whether
We're best
you can
friends.
tell,
Forever.
but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after
I mean, but it's
another.
really not her fault. Like,
Oh,
she could
taken by
physically
the
and
water.
literally could not do a thing.
All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant.
Like, if anything, it's
They
Focalor's
thought their
fault.
god would protect
You know?
them.
Technically.
They had absolute
But
faith
even
that
then-
when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came. And the Hydro Archon did nothing.
I mean, like, truthfully, like, I know obviously it's a sad situation, so I understand why she feels bad, but, like, really, what could she have possibly done? You know, it's not her fault in the slightest. It's not even like she was the one who created this problem in the first place. Or maybe she feels like Focalor's guilt. Like, I don't know, but, like, it's really not, you know what I mean? I feel bad, because, like, what could she have done?
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
I don't know.
Had to go through so many moments
Like, they're
that
making this
taught
seem
me
like a
the
pity
secret of
party.
protecting the truth.
But it's
As
not.
time went on, it got harder and harder to bear.
Or
And
maybe,
I became more lonely and isolated.
maybe, like, having everyone expect her to be able to do something was just enough pressure alone to make her feel bad. Like, the fact that everyone looked to her for help and she couldn't do anything. Maybe that's it.
Eventually, I realized I had
And then had to
nothing
lie
left
about saying, oh, I'm
except
gonna
the
do
truth.
something, don't worry. But in reality, she
I
had
became terrified
no
of
control. Maybe that's
completely
it,
failing
probably.
in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, We were able to.
Did Fusler tell her the full
worst-case
truth
scenario,
too? Or
thanks
did
to
she
the
not
help
know
of
until after the
heroic
fact?
individuals such
Like
as
us.
yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities. And I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further.
That's
use
so
to
true.
Hmm. Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Reward? I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in.
And now me and you
I
are
was
best
scared
friends
of
for
someone
life.
recognizing me
BFFLs,
for
so.
who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust.
See, because Fosler made it seem like Furina didn't know anything aside from just, oh, well, based on that cutscene, oh, do what you're supposed to, or like play this role and everyone will be saved. If you can't play the role well enough, everyone will die. So I don't think Furina fully knew like her real intentions and like her plan on how to stop all this. Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated.
I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know.
It was like Fosler was speaking to her like a child. Like when you tell a child like, oh, be good and you'll get a cookie, you know what I mean?
That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming
This poor
from.
girl. She's just a victim on every aspect. Like, she did nothing. She couldn't do anything. She's put in this horrible position. And she
Could you
feels bad.
please get off
She's a
my
good girl.
case?
That's so
I
sad.
don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
That's what I'm saying. Like, someone correct Paimon. She's being rude.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands.
Aw, I'm happy for
Alright,
her.
It's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Oh, God.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and
I
check
doubt
it out.
that. If I was a writer, oh my God, the ending? Well, she's just being insensitive.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat?
Oh.
You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips. You know?
Me to myself every day.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right
Okay.
now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours.
Rude.
I've spent my whole life
He was rude, not
battling
her.
the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again.
Lovers quarrel. Ooh.
We're back. Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Woo!
Great. So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Outgrew that role is absolutely crazy. That is crazy. See, now it's funny if I giggle, but it's not funny when Paimon
The
laughs.
boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid.
She's getting on my nerves.
That's right.
I'm allowed to laugh.
He has
Paimon
some
isn't.
pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the
Almost
little
just drank the tea
Oceanid.
bag.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Freena's like,
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life.
did
and
her
legacy.
director like know what was going
She
on?
kept
Like
quiet
she
about all
had,
the
maybe that's why they
trials
like
and
kidnapped her
tribulations
because
she
she
faced
knew
in
too
running
much,
our
clearly.
troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe was like your home.
Aw.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness.
Oh.
And once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me
That's
anymore.
crazy.
I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time.
Me, but instead of an alleyway,
It
I'm
was
in my
like
bed
that
just like
until
rotting.
The director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under
Yeah, she
her
guilt
wing,
tripped her. It made me
taught me how to
sad.
sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer.
What?
My parents weren't around when I was little.
You know
so
my
I got
friend
sent to an orphanage.
accidentally went on a date with the son of a serial killer. The kid's like completely fine and normal, but like, you know, aside from the fact that his dad probably, you know, traumatized him a tad, I'd imagine. But yeah, it happened. And she was very shocked to find that out afterwards.
The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer."
What?
It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore. So I ran away. I lost all faith in
tummy
humanity
hurts.
by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Not a deal breaker. I think they actually ended up going on another date. I don't remember. I think there was just something else. I think they just didn't vibe. I don't think it was that at all. But she
Let me guess.
thought it was interesting.
Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
Good for you, brother. Oh, my auto's not on.
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh,
How times change.
the ending. Is it ready? I'm excited.
You're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina?
Fangirling.
Oh my god. How did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down.
Do you guys think if you met like
Where was I?
like a celebrity or like an idol or someone you're just a really big fan of, do you think you'd keep your cool, or do you genuinely think you'd like freak out? I don't know how I would do, because like I think about that sometimes, because I don't normally get awkward when talking to people or talking to new people, but like if it's someone you're a fan of, I feel like maybe I'd feel embarrassed. Like, I don't know. I wonder, you know, like if you would just like be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Like, huge fan, or if you, or I would just be like, like it's just completely like no thoughts, like lights on, no one's home. You know what I mean? Just like shit the bed. So I don't know. I've always wondered that,
Yes.
like
the
how I would
script, of course.
react.
Let me give you a rundown.
I guess I
of
won't
how
find
the
out
story
unless I walk
unfolds in
into
my
like
version of the
fucking,
script.
I don't know, Chris Martin or someone crazy.
I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes.
Oh my god, look at the little hey, that's not funny. Oh, is that a seal or is that the whale, the all-devouring narwhal? Because if that's the narwhal, I don't like that balloon at all.
The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid. Plants and flowers are withering.
Oh my god, does
And
she
the
give
people
up
begin to
herself? to save the town? Does she become the water, but then at the cost of herself?
The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it.
That'd be
and
crazy.
investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the freshwater to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
I don't know who those people are. Who are they? Artists, musicians?
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Yeah, I'm telling you, the director knew too much.
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping
Busybody.
when she revealed her secret. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover and the rest of humanity.
Wow, I knew it.
But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain?
Did I write this story? I knew it. Maybe I could write it. Damn, you know what? Yo, I'm about to pick up a pen and some paper and I'm writing a book.
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
She was able to find...
No, don't
even
apologize. I'm glad it
greater love,
worked.
one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
The parallels of Furina. Or maybe Focalor?
There's actually
well,
something else that
more
bothers
so
me.
Furina, I would think.
You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible.
Oh, it's really depressing.
What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
Wow, that's rough.
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city.
Oh, so she knew something was gonna happen.
Waited and waited at the rendezvous point.
But
she never came.
Another mystery? Oh, please tell me we don't have to do the whole connecting the dots thing.
Without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
Rector was the kindest soul in the world, yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like she knew.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to
right,
me.
the guy who left the city, I forgot.
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest
Oh, please
of
do
all.
share. I'd love to see.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aureli.
T.
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once.
I'll try to find the YouTube channel later.
She turned me down pretty much straight away.
Ooh,
She
that's
said
gotta
that we were all
sting.
like brothers and sisters to her, And she never considered us as potential romantic partners.
No, I don't think. Okay,
Not that it came
genuine.
as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her.
Being rejected, I think I would die. That's why I don't date and I don't let people in, because if I ever got rejected, I think I would actually drop dead on the floor. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I think, like, what do you mean you don't like me? Like, I would think I would just die. Like, drop, just dead.
I said, maybe
Dead.
one day
I
in the
really would.
future, when everyone's
Can't handle it.
settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Vilmont once
Thank
and
you.
for all, face to face. We've
you,
all
Darcy.
had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks
Ooh,
like it's
hiccup.
time to go visit Vilmont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
No.
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Funny you should
What does
ask,
he
though.
know? I know he knows something,
You really
Vilmont.
do get what I'm going through right now.
I
I
mean,
certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y.
Vilma, are you there?
life goes on.
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
That's life. Do people really say that though? Like, oh, that's life. Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troupe. We now have everyone except you.
Imagine you like essentially like ran away from your friends and they just come back with like the god of your land. Like, hey, what's up? How you been?
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone?
He doesn't sound like he likes that idea. I'm just telling from his tone.
I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success.
Oh, brought you a
That's
souvenir.
why
It's the
I
god.
wanted to wait until
It's
after
God.
the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when
I
we're on
knew he
stage.
knew. Of course he
Vilma,
knew.
Avoiding the truth will not help anyone.
True.
Unless you mean to suggest that O'Reilly's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
Listen, Vimo. I used to think that my love for O'Reilly was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to O'Reilly on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one.
That's
As
rude.
you all know already, the truth was kept afloat not from
It's not
ticket
nice.
sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It
Ooh.
seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I
Thank you for the heart,
realized
Mayu.
the drink in question was Synth.
What's synth?
Isn't that the drink paddled by the
Oh,
clever
shit,
and
right.
serial disappearances?
Thank God for Furina, because I completely forgot.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration.
RSS
The merchant
GF.
was
Thank you so
furious,
much for the follow. Welcome to
berated us
stream.
for going back on our word and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There
Couldn't
was
you
no
just say
way
like,
we'd be
no,
able to
I'm not
pay.
paying you? Like you just tried to peddle drugs into my show. They'd never get that money back in a real court.
And then
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault.
Just saying.
But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
It's not much of a mistake.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
I wouldn't say
Hey,
that.
Don't say that.
I was gonna say.
Traitor!
Oh, this idiot.
You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name
Irrational as
didn't you
always.
tell
Get in
us?
control of your
What do you
emotions,
mean?
please.
You were afraid. This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her. How could you be so stupid?
That's what I'm saying, Darcy.
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him.
Like, it's not his fault, clearly. Like, it's a criminal's
Stay
fault.
calm. How can I stay calm?
Duh.
This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to
No
try and
reasoning
high
in that
road
brain
us,
is.
claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
I was about to say, not to quote his friend right here, but this is why they don't call you the smart one,
All I can say
brother.
is I'm
'Cause
sorry.
that's crazy.
Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that
Hiccup.
won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now? I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never.
It's really
take
not even
back.
that bad of a mistake. Like, objectively,
Beat me
like,
up
he
if
was
you
just doing the
want.
right thing,
Kill
so
me
they
if you
thought.
prefer. It's what I deserve. End
Damn.
my life, so I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
So dramatic. Like, oh my god. Just kill me, he said. I can't cope with this. Shoot me. Like, hello?
Get out of my sight. Go, get lost. I don't ever want to see your face again.
Oh, right, I forgot. This is literally an acting troupe. Of course the drama is on. Like, I completely forgot. Real.
Pipe down, both of you. Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
Cleared. She just cleared them.
You're
Like,
right.
you're right, girl.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention.
I'm almost done with my tea. If this doesn't cure me, I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys.
The director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center
That's what I'm
of
saying.
attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other.
She is so
If
smart.
you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured?
Ooh, she's
But
gonna
you
guilt him
can't
now.
bring yourself to do that,
And it's gonna
can you?
work.
You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again.
Aw, that's
If
sweet.
she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was.
I feel like caring
Even her
people
harshest
are always.
lectures came from a place of kindness.
Yep, see, they always.
and it
Because they
showed.
care, so they'll
She
lecture you.
really
You know what I
was a
mean?
truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly,
Ruh-roh.
everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well,
That's a shot in the
We'll leave
dark,
this
but
in
it will
your
conveniently
capable
be there
hands.
for the sake of plot, so I'm here for it. Let's go.
Pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case?
Yes.
Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application.
Nice. Thanks, girl.
So, this is all Aurelie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person.
We're gonna read her journal. Do you guys think you could ever read a dead person's journal? I feel like that'd be so... I'd feel so bad.
And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Let me take a look.
That would be
Maybe
like
there's
what if their
something in
ghost
here
was
from
watching
after
you
she
go
was
through their
kidnapped.
diary? Oh, I'd be so
Aha.
embarrassed.
I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt. Wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
This seems sad. Someone else was taken that makes 6, or perhaps the 7th. Someone tried to escape yesterday but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if writing this is of any use or how longer I can do it for. I can already see my fate approaching, but what terrifies me even more is the thought of seeing others from the troupe here. Have I truly protected them? Sorry, I'm so sorry I can't write no more. That's so sad. Oh, she's written more. I think I have a fever and my old stomach troubles have returned, but nobody has given me any medicine. I suppose I am more fortunate than Cressy, however you say that. The pain keeps her awake all night. I suppose they think that anything goes so long as the experimental subjects can be used up before they die. It's so damp here. I've given her my blanket. So cold, so cold, so cold. As long as one persists, all things will pass. There will be a reward for hard work. I like to tell them such things, but it is I who am losing my grip. Oh my god, this is really depressing. If anyone sees this, Troupe, safe. I, them, important. Please, farewell, apologize, life, perform, future, regret, Cleo. This page is an absolute mess, and the writer's pen seems to have wandered its surface at the bottom. Only some words can be made out, and barely at that. From this page onward, the diary stops to replace the lyrics from musicals. Some are in the form of newspaper clippings, and others are handwritten with many crossings out and changes. It is apparent that the pages have been referenced often, and that this was the personal notebook of artistic director. How did they say her name again? Ariel? That's really depressing.
She was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troupe, but
I think if I watched someone
at the
dissolve in
end of
front of
the
me, I just would
day,
have dropped dead.
she was
Like I think,
only
you know how
human.
like rabbits get so scared their
can't bear to
hearts just
think how
stop like that. I feel like that
painful
would have been
and
me.
lonely her
Like I
final
would have
days
just
must
died
have
on the
been.
spot.
Wait, this part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Ow, my back. Sorry. The lyrics continue. However, one page has been torn out, folded up, and placed next to this last blank page. At the bottom of the folded note, there are 2 lines Ariel has written in handwriting much more legible than before, but it seems they took her both great effort and a great deal of time to write. If you became human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. This is truly what you want. Because I am an older sister to them, I love them.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
I think this is Furina's
Isn't that
notebook.
the most important line in the little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well.
Yes.
She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. And she truly deserved it.
That's so sad.
Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O'Reilly's final thoughts.
They do look tiny on him. Does this sound like background music for people grieving and, in quotes, howling with rage? This doesn't seem appropriate. Ooh, they came to a decision. Okay.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Very true.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant
Oh
sacrificing
shoot,
herself.
I just punched my monitor. I'm so sorry.
We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I like how the guy named Vilmont is playing the villain.
To make this a show worthy
Silly
of our
to me.
director.
But silly in a good way.
I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director O'Reilly and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Ooh, hiccup. Because it'll be very heartfelt. Like from the, you know.
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to
I actually
move the
quite enjoy
audience with
some
your
musicals.
music, you must fully
Some. I'm
commit
picky.
And immerse yourself in your role, pouring
I like The
all
Lion
your
King.
emotion into your
I've seen it
performance.
twice.
And aren't
My brother
human
really likes
emotions
musicals though. And my
love,
sister.
hate, regret,
So we've seen a
and
couple.
hope? Just the most mesmerizing
But
things in this
my favorite is
world.
Lion King. Because the
I
puppets
don't
they use are
believe
really
anybody
cool.
could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
A vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal. During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Okay,
Oh,
so it
it's
depends
okay.
really.
Our usual place doesn't need a
Just
reservation.
local stuff. Because we have a couple local theaters like by me.
That
I'm not like
place?
in the city. In the
Don't
city.
be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
I mean, she has an
What are
in,
you
so.
afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
No, though that's not what I meant.
She got your
Supposed to
ass.
be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home. Never back down, never
I have
what?
no problem with it then. How about the rest of you?
Woo!
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
This girl's, she knows what's going
It
on.
really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me.
I'm excited.
If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too.
Oh, that's okay. Give him more pressure, girl.
Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Neuvillette. I know just where to find him.
Neuvillette.
I knew you'd be here.
Hey.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, Traveler and Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event. You see...
Aw, of course
I
he'll say
understand.
yes. I feel like he could never say no to Furina.
The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no
Understandable,
reason to make
Mayu.
things unduly difficult.
Aw, he loves
The story of
us.
the Little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage.
I always forget they call it Oceanid. I always say
And I am
Oceanid.
surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
It's a
At
very graceful way
first,
to put
I
it.
just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
His voice is so
Why
deep. I'm
would
sorry,
you
that was just
ask me a
crazy.
question like that?
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions
I'm
of the
sorry,
protagonist, Cleo, are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission.
Good for her.
I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not.
Oh my god, I didn't realize he had blue
Sincerely hope the
eyeliner
show
like
will serve
that.
as the grandest of finales.
Blue eyeliner, little
I will
wing?
have my staff book the date.
I never
and
actually
mail
saw
the
that.
relevant paperwork to the troupe
He's
once
so
the
hot.
details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalette.
Nervalette.
You are very welcome.
Cutscene?
Good news, everyone. It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks
Woo.
to my eloquent and
Are you sure it's not Opera
impassioned speech,
Epiclese?
Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance.
I love Furina. She's
We
awesome.
had to fight every
How about you?
step of the way for this opportunity. But we now have all
Excuse
of
me.
the ingredients necessary
Sorry.
to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together and make this show the
I just
best
hit
it
the
can
thing.
be.
Woo!
This is truly wonderful. wonderful.
Go team. Who's the girl with the bob?
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse.
I remember her.
Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things.
Look at her.
I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Oh, now they want to be rational. Interesting.
Look at us. We've come so far. I never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
This guy sounds like Deku.
Amazing! Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really
Paimon is so... She's so nasty, this quest. I'm so sick of her. Annoying. Like, Furina can't even breathe without Paimon crawling down her neck. Rude. Just rude.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
My input is for Paimon to
Lois,
shut
get
up.
over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Are they gonna sing for me? Oh. Oh my god, they gave her a wig. Okay, wig. Wig diva? I'm sorry.
That cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
To him.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back.
Is this intermission?
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles.
I feel like what's her face is gonna get too sick, and then Furina's gonna have to be like, I must take the stage.
If only.
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage.
Oh, is she actually sick?
Why does it have to be now?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective
I'm
over
kind of...
time.
I don't know how I feel about this.
My dose.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final
Like, I kind of like how she drew that boundary for
You do
herself.
this to yourself. And after that lecture you gave me
You
about
shut
not
up.
looking after
This man's pissing me
sorry.
off.
I've let everyone down.
you. This is a conversation for another time.
I don't like him
How can
yelling
the
at
show
her
go
about
on
how she
without
takes
its
care of her
star
health.
performer?
Rude. She even dyed her eyebrows for this
Furina,
role.
I'd like to make a request of you.
Like, I'm very...
Say no
I know they don't
If
know.
you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
They're gonna put him in a wig? I'd die.
Yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale. From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
Huh.
It's her pure heart. Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, She never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Well said.
I'm sad. This is very sad.
I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Is she here yet? When will she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Oh my god, I love this.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi.
But what about your wish?
My wish.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
I'm gagged. That's... Hello? Wow.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now?
She hasn't been seen for a while now, and she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me.
I wonder if she's gonna get away with that.
That I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that.
When the hell am I on the stage? Why is Paimon on the stage?
To be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss
Uh-oh. Oops.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Oh, so it was Furina after all. She's back.
Honestly, what is he
Dad
doing?
is home.
He should have run that by me first.
Oh my god, that's what I'm gonna do when Arlecchino
All
comes
right,
back.
calm down. Don't be mad.
I'm sorry.
This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged.
So we doxed you publicly.
After
Hope you
all,
don't mind, girlfriend.
It's been the rule in
Love you.
Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's
Like
work,
shit.
visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
No, they had a good heart. Like I get why they did it. It's sweet, but like.
It should still be applied on a case-by-case basis.
Look at her, so
I wasn't
bashful.
ready for this yet.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
So this is how she gets her vision.
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
Oh my god, my signature.
No, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Oh, that.
She goes, this whole thing?
I've got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it? I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Oh, let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that
Flaws
we
on her vision?
accomplished
What do you
we
mean?
set out to do.
No, I was gagged. 100%. So good.
Ah, you're back.
Hey.
She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the
Oh,
stage.
that's what that was on YouTube. I saw that the other day, but I didn't know what it was because I hadn't done the quest yet. So I was like, huh?
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry.
We'll watch
failed
that
to
on
see it through to the
Thursday for
end.
sure. That's awesome.
I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
Spoilers.
No, don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well,
Eventually.
one way or another, we did it. I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note. That's all that matters.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
I wanna.
Don't you start.
He's a nag.
I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing with each other?
Right.
So, any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanid to the bigger theater troupes out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
No, we should
I know
still
what the
disband.
tone was, you nut
Yeah.
job.
It's what we all agreed to.
After all
That's
that's happened,
crazy.
I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Oh, okay, and he's taking off.
Hey, don't just walk off!
So still with the theatrics.
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musicals.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow me to.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well.
Simp. No, I'm
What
kidding.
about
That's
you,
very
Miss
sweet.
Furina? Any future
He's a very good
plans?
boy. Very sweet.
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Hey, but now that'll be her new job, and she can have money and live a normal life like a normal girl.
It's quite all right.
I'm gonna be a real
No need
girl.
to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined. Maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after.
I feel a little bit better with the fact that she played this role even though she didn't want to, only because it does relate to her so much. But I just still do feel bad that like, she was a... actually, I guess it's a good thing that they made her kind of like say, oh, and thanks to Furina, and like fess up, because she was about to go under another false name of the old director. So I guess it was a good thing that she was acknowledged for herself, as herself. You know what I mean? So like that kind of makes up to it, or up for it, you know? I think if she had gone under that, you know, I guess what do you call it? Pen name, doppelganger, fake name, stage name of the old director, it would have been a little bit kind of sad, but the fact that she was acknowledged for her own work as herself in this role that related to her, it made it okay, in my opinion. I think it was, I guess, worth it overall. Like a net positive, we'll say. That's what I'll say. It was a net positive.
Yeah. There was once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them.
I think it makes it better because it would have been kind of sad if even after like playing a part that related to her and like kind of indirectly expressing how she felt in her own situation and her own experience, that she still at the end of it would then have to go back and pretend to be someone else. You know, that would have been sad. I'm saying like the fact that it was acknowledged that it was her. Oh, I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, YouTube.
I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and remembered long into the future. I'm sure this is what captivated director O'Reilly as well.
Oh, really? Did I say that right? I said O'Reilly, I think. That's just my New York accent. You guys can't even fault me for that.
Running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Then it's
Aww,
a deal.
her giggle. So cute. Much better than her psychotic laugh from earlier.
If the vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
Do you think maybe Celestia felt bad? That's why, because Celestia gives out the visions. At least as far as we're concerned, we don't really know officially who gives out the visions. But like, do you think Celestia felt bad for the situation that Furina was put into? And that's why she got a vision? I wonder. Right? Like, think about it. Because, like, I guess now they know that it wasn't... Oh, people think it was Nouvellette? Well, I thought the Archons don't do it. The Celestia does. Well, no, I'm saying they cursed Fontaine because of Focalor, but then, you know, they know that now that... Yeah, but then that means did the elemental dragons give visions, like, in each of the regions? Because I thought it was Celestia. I don't know. I guess we don't really... That won't be able to be answered for a very long time. Or maybe not too long, honestly. Who knows? I just assumed... She has claws on her vision? Oh, yeah. Nouvellette's voice lines about visions. Yeah, let's see. But he does acknowledge human will, so he too set aside parts of himself as like unto the dragon treasure hordes of old, awaiting valiant humans to come and claim them. So I think what this is saying is, well, Celestia took the power from the dragons and then gave it to the Archons, so then the Archons now have to accept what Celestia says when it comes to giving out visions and then give them a part of their power. But so the Archons don't have control, because Zhongli said that as well. So I guess now technically, since Fontaine has like full order now, the way it used to be. So I guess Neuvillette can grant visions all by himself then, not needing that approval from Fontaine. Sorry. Not needing that approval from Celestia? Is that what that's trying to say? Interesting. That was awesome. Very cute indeed. I liked that a lot. Furina's the cutest. The cutie patootiest, isn't she? And she's a pure heart. Just like her counterpart in the Little Oceanid. I think as far as importance to the story goes, that was like definitely my favorite, or like the overarching story. That was definitely my favorite character quest by far. That was so good. It gave so much important information and context without even, I feel like, really like forcing it down your throat, which is nice. And the cutscene was beautiful. Oh my god. Honestly, it might have rivaled Linny's. I know I literally said last time, oh my god, Linny's was my favorite, but this might have just, I'll have to think about that. But it was really enjoyable. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope if you know, watched it yourself, or played through it yourself, I'm sorry, you enjoyed it as well. I should get into Genshin theories more, because I talked a lot, and I said a lot, and I ended it with a lot of it with, you know, and I think, and blah. So if you have anything to say about all that, please do comment, because I would love to discuss that with people. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time.